Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Welcome to A Time for Truth. I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff. And I want to bid you a hello on this Friday leading into the weekend. Something that I get comments on and many people speaking to me about is, who do I trust? How do I trust what I'm hearing to associate with? So much stress. I want to find a better way, a way that leads to a little more happiness. And so today we have a special show for you that I know you're going to like. And we have a very special guest, Dr. Jorge Perez de Tagle, and PhD, recognized for his humanitarian work, and engineer, if you can put his pictures up on the screen, thank you. There's so much to say about Jorge. I don't know where to start, but we'll try to see what we can cover. He was recognized as a humanitarian by the United States Congress and by the city of Los Angeles. And he's also an International Freedom Medal winner and was recognized in the United Kingdom. And also in the Philippines was recognized as Outstanding Entrepreneur in 2009. Dr. Tagle, taught at Syracuse University, New York, and the University of Philippines, and is now a columnist for Inquirer.net of the U.S. Bureau. He's the author of 3 books, Leader as Coach, and the NASDAQ Exam Reviewer, and Leader as a Surfer. He also co-authored another 3 powerful alternative learning strategies, Techno Partnership, and was newly elected officials of the national program NEO. He has his PhD in social change and honors causa, and his candidacy in organizational development. He is the president of the Filipino Latino Asian Movement for Empowerment, FLAME, and with the Filipino American Voice United. Jerry is founding chair and director of the Way to Happiness Philippines Foundation. You see it there on the screen, the booklet. And executive director in many organizations, too many to mention. He is also the advisor of the Florida State National Federation of Filipino Americans and vice president for international relations in Asia and U.S. territories with the Federation of Philippine American Chambers of Commerce. He's the president of Integrative Learning International and the owner of Bouquet Ocean View Spectacular Penthouse Resort. Very well-rounded man we have today. Mr. de Tagle is a global humanitarian and entrepreneur residing in the U.S. and the Philippines. And if you could, engineer, please put him on the screen with us on the Time for Truth show. And I want to bid a welcome to Jorge Perez the Tagle.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fialkov. Indeed, a real pleasure and honor to be with you today. I'm very excited to share and answer any questions and to be of benefit to whoever is in your audience. I think we will have a great sharing this afternoon or this morning.
Absolutely. And our first question I wanted to ask you, because you've accomplished so much in your lifetime, is tell the viewers how it came to be that you chose your life's calling and these activities that you were involved in.
Sure. So my story begins, Dr. Ben. I was born and raised in the Philippines in a city called Davao. It's a small city, and what I realized is what I took for normal was a lot of crime, a lot of drugs, a lot of corruption, and I just grew up with that, and I thought that was normal. And so as I was growing up as a teenager, Ben, I was looking for a better way for the world. How can I make a difference? I became a politician, and at the age of 16, I was actually detained and put into prison as a political prisoner. So that made a difference for me in the sense that I made a decision that my life purpose is to look at and see what is the truth and be of help and service to humanity, to society, to whoever I am in contact with. So that is my life purpose, and everything that I do is towards that. And that's how I came across many words of wisdom. I studied all of the religions, and I was born and raised as a Catholic. I still am in many ways. I'm a deeper Catholic today, and I also consider myself as a Christian. And I came across a book some years ago. It was called The Way to Happiness. And when I first came across it, then I said, "Oh, I already know what it is. It's like the Ten Commandments." Yeah, been there, done that. But after I read it a couple of times, it made a difference for me. The difference here, practical, common sense approach that looked at how can I really make an impact in myself, with my family, with my organizations, and with society. So it's a very comprehensive approach. There are 21 precepts. The book is called The Way to Happiness, and I'm going to show it here. And so it made a difference for me. It changed my life, actually. And
Absolutely. Well, you know what? You're actually, I'm so glad that you're getting into this because this program has had so much acclaim and has brought peace and calm and prosperity also, because obviously with peace and calm comes prosperity of entrepreneurs investing in the country. And so what I wanted to ask you, what are your plans and how do you feel about this program in terms of its global impact?
I'm very enthused. I'm very optimistic that in spite of the many issues that the world is encountering today, there are many challenges, that I believe the truth is there and that we can do something about it. This is what the book has helped me to do, that I can make a difference, and I can make a difference with people, my communities, my country, and whoever I am in contact with, and make a change. It gives me a sense of hope, is what I am seeing. It gives me a sense of certainty that not only is there hope, that I know what I can do to take action and make a difference in this world. That I think is very important, because
Absolutely. What I wanted to ask you is, how does the program function? How is it that the viewers can actually start utilizing this? Tell us a little bit about how that program is working.
beautiful. What I want to say is, for more than 30 years, I took on a professional role as a trainer and a designer for change programs. So I did personal paradigm shifting of changing of mindsets of individuals. I became a second coach, and at the same time, I cultures of nations as an organization development trainer. Now, what I've realized is this: that for there to be sustainable, real change that makes an impact that is measurable, it can only start with a shifting of the mindset of the heart and mind of each individual. And from each individual shifting and seeing for themselves, it cannot be mandated. Each individual has to realize it for themselves. And then when you have one or two individuals, then you have a culture. You have this culture, and then you create communities of it, then you can have a real change in a society. So it begins with a realization for oneself. In a way, what's in it for me? It's a very practical approach, and I like it because it is non-religious and non-political. Because I work with from the Philippines is 80 Roman Catholic, around 15% Christian, 10% Muslim country. So that was very important for me to be able to create a neutrality so that whatever faith the person is coming from, they could see value for it and it makes sense for them. That for me is an important thing.
Absolutely. Makes total sense to me. You actually sent a video, engineer, if you get the video ready, and I found the video very interesting in terms of what you accomplished, and it's just a small fraction of what you do. But if that video is ready, engineer, let's put it on the screen for the viewers and show them what Jorge has been doing in across the globe.
Not that talented.
You're not attractive.
Too fat.
You're too short.
Too old?
Man, you're garbage.
Do you really think you're gonna make it?
Nobody really makes it anyway.
Why don't you just give up?
Give up.
Give up.
Give up.
Just give up.
Okay, it's very nice. And the engineer is loading up the other video that you sent, and we'll see if we can get that one on also. What I wanted to ask you is, in these turbulent times across the globe, what what have you been doing in terms of coordinating with religious leaders?
Beautiful. So what I found out is that as I connect with individuals, with my family members, friends, and organizations I belong to, that I was looking at what is the quickest, fastest way to make a difference and make a change, not just in a small, but in a bigger community. And I saw that the organized communities are actually churches, governments, schools and universities, as well as organized civil society, whether it's non-government organizations. So what I saw is that if I want to make a major difference and impact in society in a quick time in my lifetime, working and convening and having leaders of church groups. For example, in the Philippines, I began to work with the Catholic Bishop Conference of the Philippines with the bishop. And so I shared with him the book. He liked it. And he said, Jerry, I like it because this is a practical spirituality. So in partnership with the Catholic Church, I actually taught lay leaders, Catholic leaders from all over the country. And they loved it because they saw a practical solution. But really, one of the lay leaders, a couple of the lay leaders actually said in their feedback after the retreat that I gave to them with the Way to Happiness, they said that they felt that they became closer to Jesus Christ. And I said, oh my God, awesome. Because here's the thing. If there is truth whatever it is that we are teaching, it will touch the hearts, the spirit, and the minds. That's how truth works, and people see it, whatever religion they're coming from. So I also work with Islamic leaders, Muslim leaders. Actually, the president of the Way to Happiness Philippine organization is a sultan, is a Muslim sultan. So we like working with that because what the what the Catholics are saying is that it is very biblical. So we actually created a book that looked at the 21 precepts of the Way to Happiness, and then we saw and connected it with the actual biblical verses. So this became a study book together with the Way to Happiness that Catholics and Christians could study and create a practical impact in their communities. And then what was also interesting was that when I was working with Islamic leaders, one was a Sharia expert, and he said that all of the 21 precepts are in Sharia law. Sharia law is basically the Islamic precepts that create their moral code. So that for me was a true affirmation of what truth is. Truth cuts through whatever divisions be. Divisions are, in a way, human made, because in the essence of who we truly are in humanity, we are one and the same, regardless of gender, sex, faith that we have.
Absolutely. When we really look, religion overall brings happiness because you're right, it civilizes man, it gives them tenets and precepts. So I find that interesting that in your book, This Way to Happiness, you have these precepts and they're common sense because, we want to unite people. One of the things that's been happening during these turbulent times and the isolation that we had to do with quarantine, unfortunately, there's been a lot of unrest and upset. People are very stressed. So whatever we can do to bring together is such a beautiful thing. I wanted to see if the engineer had the other video that you sent. There seems to be a little problem with the feedback. Did you find that one, engineer, at the bottom of the list? No. Okay, it was right at the bottom of your list there on what I sent you. Right on the bottom. So he'll get that ready at the bottom of the list. And, in the meantime, let's continue with what we have. And he'll let me know when he gets it ready so we can play it. Because I know you, it was very interesting watching that. So what I was going to ask you is, what do you think is very important to occur at this point with what's happened globally? What would you like to see occurring?
What I would like to see occurring, first of all, is a personal individual realization that whatever the circumstance you may be at, whatever community or country you may be at today, is that there is an answer, there is a solution, there is hope. I think the worst thing that can happen is you begin to sense that there is nothing you can do about it, that you're a victim. So what we're seeing is that with this book, is that we can be victors. We can make a difference, starting with ourselves. So we're looking at 4 dimensions of transformation of our self. So 5 of the precepts are more of self, then of our family. We can make a difference, and in our organization, if we are working in a school or in a company, and then in greater society, we can make a difference. So I'll give you a specific example. At the self level, the whole book is very practical. There are 21 precepts or principles, and the first one is actually says take care of yourself. How can you be more practical with that? If you are to take yourself, right? Because keep your body clean, go to a doctor, eat properly, get care. And then the second one I truly like is being temperate. Do not abuse yourself. Do not do illegal drugs. So that's why this has been a good book to clarify for many people that drugs doesn't work. But personally, I want to share with you the precept that really struck me is precept number 3. And precept number 3 it says, guess what? Don't be promiscuous. I want to share this to you personally because I grew up in a Philippine society wherein promiscuity was the actually. That's interesting, huh? And I realized, I thought that that was giving me happiness and joy and pleasure, but at the end of the day, I realized that it was not. And so when I realized that, this book has really made a difference for me. And
Absolutely. You know what? The engineer has the video, and I found
okay,
a very beautiful video. So let's put the video on so that we can make sure we get it on the show today. Engineer, let's play the video that the doctor has sent to us, please.
My name is Maiter. Hi there. Bisaya pa, Ilonggo, Tagalog. Halika na dito. Ha?
Wala pong one size fits all pag pinag-usapan ng happiness.
Isa't isang hakbang lamang at ika'y makakarating.
Ito po yung daan tungo sa kaligayahan. Pagbabago ng kaisipan, pagbabago ng puso.
Tutunan din natin lahat ang way to happiness. Thank God you're here, you're still alive, you're so beautiful, and you're so handsome.
Ang mga kriminal, takot din sa balayan. Mga kasama kong polis, napakaganda na itong lecture natin on the ways to happiness.
Do unto others what you want others to do unto you.
Kasi nasa back ko ito palagi, itong dalawa na ito. So that if I have my chance, if I have my time, I share something.
Too many billion people running around the planet. What is the chance in heaven that could find your way to me? You have inspired me so much.
Magkakaroon po tayo ng 5-minute photo shoot.
Masaya ba tayo?
Beautiful video. I'm so glad we got it on. And I see that you got our friend, international recording artist David Pomerantz to sing. He's such a great guy. And I want to make sure, because I know you had wanted the viewers to know, that you can get this booklet actually free online at thewaytohappiness.org. That's thewaytohappiness.org. It's in many different languages. It's in Spanish, in Espanol, and in other languages, so that you can obtain it. So unfortunately, we come to the end of the show, but I wanted to ask you, Doc, what would you like to tell our viewers as our ending message?
this is what I can say. Continue to look at the truth and help people out. I think this is a key purpose of our humanity. And whatever your situation in life is, whether young or old, you can make a difference. And this is the source of happiness and fulfillment. And so the nice thing is that when you do that, when you live a life of ethics and values, the Freedom 21, the last piece of this in the book is you flourish and prosper. So you can all. It's a very optimistic message of hope, which I believe each one of us can live. Each one of us can live in our families, in our organizations, and society. And so just take action. You can make it happen.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, you're quite welcome. Thank you, Doctor, for being on the show. And I'm your host, Dr. Bernard Fialkoff. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Time for Truth show. Have a very good weekend and apply that to your life. Let's make this a better world.
Muchas gracias.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got. But the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet